as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalist is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God.
This woke MSNBC host had an absolute meltdown on live TV about, guess what, Donald Trump. And it set off a ton of backlash because what she said was just absolutely ridiculous. And it set off people like, you know, Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro and the rest of those guys. And we'll get into all those reactions in just 1 second. But I first want to get into this clip from this woke MSNBC host talking about why Donald Trump and Christian nationalism is a real danger to our society and to our United States, to our democracy, and the rest of the buzz terms that they like to use. So here's a tweet from Wade Miller. It says here, MSNBC helpfully makes it clear their disdain for Christians in America. She says that if you believe your rights come from God, you aren't a Christian, you are a Christian nationalist. Somehow they seem to not mention that our own founding documents make this proclamation, as have most Americans throughout our history. The radical atheist globalists are coming to try to crush our ordinary American citizens. And right after this clip, we'll get into the reactions from people like Mostly Peaceful Memes, like Matt Walsh, and the rest of the guys that reacted to this, because there is a ton of backlash, and rightfully so. There should be a ton of backlash to clips like this, because it's very obvious that this person is brainwashed or paid to say these things by the globalists out there. And anyway, let's check out this clip here from MSNBC.
The one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalist is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God.
And like I said, rightfully so. This set off just a ton of backlash. You can see the tweet from Wade Miller here. He's not happy. Mostly Peaceful Meme says there's no middle ground with people antithetical to you. The U.S. was not founded as a Christian nation, says this guy, and you can see the ratio that he got. That's demonstrable on a lot of levels. Christian nationalism is not a path the country should wander down. Well, in my opinion, it is a path that the country should wander down. I think that's the easiest pathway to actual peace in the country. But Wade Miller responds to that and says, a nation is merely a region where people hold common traditions and culture. A nation is not a government, state, or country. Nations exist within countries. It is a political science fact that this nation was founded as a Christian nation. The constitutional government created to comprise the United States is not a theocracy and does not have an established religion. Definitions matter. And obviously his reaction, the reaction to that tweet was a lot better than the reaction to this guy's tweet that said the U.S. was not founded as a Christian nation. And in the comments, let me know, was the U.S. founded as a Christian nation? I mean, obviously, I think it was, and I think it should be going forward. But let's check out the reaction here from Matt Walsh, because I think he had a really, really good one. Let's check out this Matt Walsh reaction. He says, wow, this is a truly remarkable clip. This woman declares the most fundamental principle that our entire political system is based on is Christian nationalism. She, of course, is too stupid to understand what that means, and that she is accidentally defending the ideology she's trying to refute. If our rights don't come from God, where do they come from? What are they? If you say they're a social contract, then how do you complain when society decides it wants to limit your rights? You have no fundamental rights. Your rights are whatever society says. There is nothing higher to appeal to. That is the problem. And I've never heard anyone in this woman's camp make any serious attempt to engage with it. And I think that's actually a great response. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about that response there from Matt Walsh. This person says our rights do come from God, and the Bill of Rights does a better job of articulating them than any other governing document on earth. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling about all these opinions. Obviously, this did set off just a ton of backlash, and rightfully so. I mean, this is just an absolutely ridiculous statement. And I don't know if, these these woke MSNBC hosts are paid to say these things, or if they're just so brainwashed, they're so far down their rabbit hole of wokeness that they kind of have to. They feel like they have to say these things, and maybe she truly believes this. Maybe she's just this stupid. Who knows? But Graham Allen also responds and says, what is wrong with MSNBC? This panelist really said if you believe your rights come from God and not Congress, you are a Christian nationalist. Has she not read the Constitution? Let's check out this clip one more time.
The one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalist is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God.
So I went ahead and looked up the definition of what is Christian nationalism to kind of just make it super clear. Christian nationalism is the belief that the American nation is defined by Christianity, that the government should take active steps to keep it that way. Popularly, Christian nationalists assert that America is and must remain a Christian nation, not merely as an object observation about American history, but as a prescriptive pronoun, or geez, pronoun. Maybe I'm getting brainwashed a little bit, but as a prescriptive program for what America must continue to be in the future. Scholars like Samuel Huntington have made a similar argument that America is defined by its Anglo-Protestant past and that we will lose our identity and our freedom if we do not preserve our cultural inheritance. And I know this is going to be controversial to say, but I agree. Like, I think that the path to peace in this country is to just make it a Christian nation. You know, if we can all at least come together with that, like obviously the globalists are trying to separate everyone, and you know, they're trying to push atheism on people. They're trying to push racial division and gender division. They're trying to push all this division onto America and onto the Western world. But if we could at least agree that we're going to follow the law of God, right? Follow the Bible, follow the Christian religion overall. And they even try to create division within the Christians too, within Christianity itself. But if we can all at least agree that, you know, we're Christians and we can agree to respect that part of the nation, right? Respect that at least fundamental part of what America is and what America was built on and what the Constitution was built on, what the Bill of Rights was built on. If we can at least agree to that, instead of trying to pollute it all and say that, you know, America is not a Christian nation, doesn't have to be. You know, I understand that doesn't go with the modern narrative of everybody should be included and we need to be super inclusive. And I'm not saying that non-Christians shouldn't be allowed into the United States. I'm just saying the United States should be a Christian nation if we want any chance of peace and to have less division going forward. That is the best route by far. And I think, you know, other countries' best route, such as like, you know, in the Middle East or Dubai, for example, they don't not allow non-Muslims into their country, but they're very much governed by Muslim law, right? By Islamic law. They're very much governed by that. And I think the United States should be the same way, where we allow non-Christians into the country, but we're governed by the Christian law above anything else. And, you know, that's what the nation was founded on. It's within the Constitution. It's within the Bill of Rights. You know, if you don't know that, if you can't understand that, then you just don't understand the history of the United States, in my opinion. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong on that. But the way I see it is, if we want any chance at actually bringing people together in the future and not having these racial divides and not having, you know, the gender divides and even the divides with, you know, between the different religions, we need to have a dominant religion. We need to accept and embrace the fact that the United States is a Christian nation. And like I said, I'm totally open to being completely wrong on that. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that statement, because that's how I feel. And I don't even think it should stop at the United States. I think it should probably be for the Western world in general. You know, it should probably be more Christian than anything. And I'm not saying that we have to kick everybody out who's not Christian. I'm just saying we should be governed by Christian law. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about that. I'll be very open to discussing with people who completely disagree. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about the statement that this woke MSNBC host made. What do you think about Matt Walsh's statements in response to it? I think Matt Walsh had a really good response to this whole situation. But let me know what you're thinking about Matt Walsh's response. And if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.